Hey guys, welcome to Stack the Deck's first Magic video. I'm Adam Morales and I'm working with Peter Wells, and today we're going to teach you the basics of card magic. You know, the stuff that every magician definitely knows. It's going to be pretty boring, and there's going to be a lot of stuff that you think is useless, but it's actually going to help in the long run. Like, for example, the one-handed cut. It looks pretty basic and not that flashy, but you know, there's other moves that you can combine with the one-handed cut, and it just makes it look so much better if you just get the foundations, you know, solid first. Yeah, not gonna lie, these videos they're gonna suck. In the beginning, we're just working stuff out. I'm using iMovie. Peter's using iMovie, I think, and it's being kind of weird. It's not really working all the time. I don't know. Maybe we should invest in like a video editor. That costs like a lot of money. I don't know. If you guys know any good video editors, just drop a comment. But yeah, hang in there. It's gonna be worth it. And have fun. It's when you start off card magic, it's gonna be hard. You're not gonna get like instant results. My only serious like advice that's gonna be completely helpful right now is don't learn as many tricks as you can and spend a little time on them. Just take one trick and like learn it solidly, like spend a lot of time into it, and then learn another one and put a lot of time into that one, but also go back to the one before and make sure you still keep that one up too, and then you go to another one and you can maybe like leave the first one behind a little and then just keep on working with them. And so to some, it's kind of like what Bruce Lee said. It's better to learn one trick and practice it a million times, and a million tricks practice one time. That's paraphrased, of course. I have no idea what he actually said. But anyway, just have fun, and don't get too serious about it. And hopefully, see you next week.
Alright, so quick little intro just sort of about the channel. The purpose I think that Adam and I have agreed upon is this is a channel that you come to if you are just sort of a startup magician and you're just picking up the deck for that first time. You want to learn the basics. This is the channel you should come to. We're going to be starting with all the basic stuff that we learned, everything we built our skills on, and try to pass it on to you. So I don't know if Adam sort of did that in his video. If he did, then obviously this won't be in the final version, but either way, a little bit about us. We're high school seniors. We just finished our junior year. It's a little strange with all the situation going on, but either way, it's nice to be done, nice to be in the middle of the summer. This is also our sort of first encounter with how YouTube is going to be working. We don't know what the barriers will be, so if we're not punctual with our release time for every Monday, then just bear with us because we just how this is going to work. But yeah, without further ado, let's get on to the video.
First thing I wanted to go over is the different types of grips, the ways to hold the deck, and it's not all that important to know. There's like, I don't know, 2 basic ones, and so here they are. There's the dealer's grip, where you have your index on top, thumb on the side, and 3 fingers on the other side. And it's called the dealer's grip because it's how you deal cards. The second thing I'm gonna go over is probably the most used trick in card magic. It's called the double lift. It's where you flip over the top card, but you really flip over the top 2 cards, making them look like one. So here it kind of looks like this. You flip over the top card, but really, and you flip it back over, but really, the card is 2 down. Alright? Now this is useful in like so many ways. You can use it like as a trick itself. You can be like, oh, we're gonna take the top card and we're gonna move it to the bottom. I mean, to the middle. But really, it's on top. Now, how you do this is you get a pinky count where you just pull down with your index the amount of cards you need. You have your thumb on the side, your fingers on the other, and you just pull down like 2 cards. And then you use your ring finger to bevel the top two cards. Like push all the air out so they stick together, and you pull out with your ring, and you flip it, and then you pull it up, pull out with your ring. Oh, and when you flip it the first time, you make it come down a little from the rest of the cards so it's easier to pick up again, and then you pull it out with the ring after you bevel it again, and then you flip it, and then there you go. Is it just me, or does it look like my door is like a portal to heaven? The stairway to hell. So again, in speed, you just want to go like this, like that, and really the ace is on top. Now, a tip is when you get the pinky count, don't like be open with it and obvious. You gotta like talk to them, and while you're moving your hands, you get the two cards, and then you flip them like that. Cause like you're just sitting there, and there's like a dead silence, and you're just awkwardly pulling down two cards. People gonna notice, so just act casual. The hardest part of the double lift is just getting the pinky count, because it's really just building muscle in your pinky. So you can like in the car just practice, you know, pulling down different numbers of cards, and once you get it down, it's really easy and really useful. So highly recommend you know that. I don't know what number we're on. The next thing I want to go over is controls. Now, control is when you take a card from one place and you move it to another place without the audience knowing. Like, here's a simple one. You got like the 9 on bottom, and you act like you're shuffling, and the 9's on top. How you do that is you just take the bottom card and you pull it down, just the first card, and then you just pull down packs on top of it, acting like you're shuffling, but you're not. That way you get the card on top. You can do this you can control the top card to the bottom. Yeah, you can control the top card to the bottom just by flipping the deck to the other side. So you pull the top card down, then you pull more and more and more and more and more, and then boom, it's on the bottom. Another more complex control is the riffle control. At least that's what I call it. It's where you go like this with the deck until the spectator says stop. Now to riffle the deck, you just hold it like this, apply pressure with your index, and just let it fall. That was a pretty crappy riffle, but yeah, you get the point. So yeah, you riffle till they say stop, and then you show them the bottom card, and well, I guess that'd be the top, but yeah, and you put it back, and you riffle the rest of the pack on. And when you riffle the rest of the pack on, you want to go from back to front, so you get this ledge right here. So you can pick it up with your thumb as you're straightening the deck and shove your pinky in it. So you get a break that doesn't show in the front, but it's still there. So that you can then grab it, the deck, pick it up, use your index to pull the top pack down, and then put the bottom pack on top. And so in full motion it looks like this. Now you don't have to be so obvious with the back to front riffle. It's just I exaggerated it for the sake of letting you guys learn. And if you want to control the card to the bottom, you just show them this one instead of the top one, and do the trick as normal. And there you go.
Alright, so probably going to put Adam's section first. So he will have taught you basic grips, all that kind of stuff. Now for this section, I'm going to be teaching you how to control the cards in cool looking ways. We call that cardistry. It's not technically a coin dictionary word, but it sounds fun. So basically cardistry tricks, basic stuff like this, the fan, what else, the one-handed cut, basic things like that I'm going to be teaching you right now. So grab a deck, get settled, and let's get started. First up on the list is the fan. Every decent, self-respecting magician knows how to do the fan. For what this, you're going to need a newer deck. The reason that is because new decks have a polish on the cards that allow them to slide past one another and form a close-knit fan. If I have an older deck here, this is a deck I've been using for about a year, so it's lost that polish. And the reason we don't want to use this kind of deck for a fan is because of this. That happens if you got these breaks, cards coming off in packets, that you just really don't want to use an old deck for a fan, it will not end well for you. So grab a new deck and get ready. First thing you want to do is give the deck a little bit of a tilt, sort of like that. Now I'm left-handed, so this is going to be a little bit, this is basically going to be mirrored for the right-handed. I may try to do it both ways if I can, but I'm going to start this way. Give it the slant, get into a grip like this, where the thumb is on the bottom left and other fingers are on the back. Now for right-handed, if you're going to be tilting it the other way, grabbing it on the bottom right corner and the back. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So giving that tilt, putting your fingers in the right position. Now for the fan, you're using your other hand, but you're really only using your thumb. You're not really using, even though it looks like I'm cupping the deck, I'm not actually touching them with anything other than my thumb. So you can get into this position, and with your thumb, the thumb's going to be moving up the deck as well as in that circle. So if I just keep the thumb at this height and fan out, I get this sort of packet right here that's not fanned. Same thing if I only do it at the top. If I only fan the top, I do get that sort of close-knit thing, but I also have this packet at the bottom right here that's not fanned out. So you're going to want to move your thumb up the deck as well as around the deck to get this close-knit fan that I showed you at the beginning. So that's the essentials of the fan. You're going to just need to kind of go through reps of that, getting it down. And yeah, once you get it, it'll look cool. You may have to change decks every once in a while if you do it so many times that you just lose the polish. But once you get it, it looks cool. You can do tons of different things with it. And is where you place your fingers for the starting grip. This affects the sort of shape of the fan. So if I want a smaller fan, I'm going to grip it further up the long edge of the deck, give that a fan, and as you can see, I get an absolutely puny fan right here. Same thing if I want a large fan, I'm just going to grab it all the way down at the bottom and get this big old fan. Now the lateral movements of your thumb on the deck also matters. If I want a with, let's say, a really big sort of outer ring here, then I'm going to grab the deck closer to me, so right towards this end of the deck, and that gives you sort of that outer fan. Now if I grab it further into the deck, or further out of the deck, sort of like that, you can see that outer fan no longer exists, but we have this inner fan. It's sort of hard to see if you can, I don't know if you can see that, but you'll see what I mean if you do it yourself. For me, my sweet spot's right about here. You get a little bit of both worlds, if we can do it right. A little bit of that outer fan and just a little tiny bit of the inner fan. That's my personal preference, but it's entirely up to you. Anyway, next is, I believe, the one-handed cut. All right, so one-handed cut is something that if you want to do any sort of cardistry tricks, any sort of things like that, you will need to learn the one-handed cut. So basically, you're going to need to commit to learning this one because you will have to play 52 card pickup more times than you can count. You're going to be dropping the decks all over the place. You're going to be dropping half the deck. You're going to get into this weird position where you're just, cards are spilling out from the middle. And you're just going to have to keep trying. And you just keep making adjustments to your technique. You're going to really need to commit to this. But the payoff at the end is really, really amazing. So first thing you want to do is get into this grip. We call it the mechanics grip. I don't know if I haven't showed you this, but basically you've got the pinky on the bottom, forefinger on top, thumb on the sides, middle and fourth finger on the other side. And also the thing to note is I'm not holding the deck in the bottom of my hand. It's elevated about, 2 inches from the palm of my hand. Now from here, let me do it this way. You're going to use your thumb So peel off a section of that top and let the bottom half fall in. After that, your index finger is going to come off from the side down to the bottom and push this bottom deck up. So now you're in this position where you've got the forefinger in there a little bit. So yeah, basically then you're going to extend your hand, get the forefinger lower, and close it up. So once again, grip like this, pull the deck up, forefinger's going to come down, push this up, extending, closing. Some tips that might help you learn this faster when you're in this position, you're going to want to sort of tilt your hand in a little bit so that your pinky's supporting it, because if you're holding it straight or even the other way, then when you come to do this, well, actually that didn't work. Hold on. I failed at filming. So yeah, but if you basically hold it too more far to the left, then your cards are going to come spilling out the bottom here, and you're just going to have to pick them all up and do it again. So yeah, that's the one-handed cut. You're just going to have to do that repetition after repetition. Some of you may get it quicker than others. I don't know. It's entirely up to you. All right, next up, Z-grip. Get into that in a second. Is aptly named because basically what you're doing with the deck is you are splitting it into a Z. I don't know how the video is going to come out, but I don't know which. But yeah, you can see it's basically you're starting that same grip for the one-handed cut. This mechanics grip right here. Now with the right or left hand, depending on which side you're doing this from, your thumb's going to come in and sort of peel off about 2/3 of the deck to this position right here. Now, with either your index or middle finger, I prefer my middle finger, you're going to come to the top and sort of split that top deck in half. And that's pretty much it. It looks simple, it is simple, but it is the basis, the starting position for almost all cardistry tricks that you can find online. And if you want to get good at cardistry, you're just going to want to learn how to just start with a closed deck and immediately get into that. For example, things you can do with this Z-grip is things like this, like the worm. All that starts with the Z-grip. There are many other things that I know, but yeah. We won't get into that. That will be for a later video. So that is pretty much the basics of all cardistry that you'll ever have to learn.
Guys, thanks for watching us, and hopefully you'll join us next week. And yeah, the videos are gonna be kind of rough in the beginning, not gonna lie, but just hang in there. They're gonna work out. Hopefully you guys will get better too. Just takes time. Just be patient. You'll start off doing mediocre, not too difficult tricks, and they'll look alright. But then later you'll get a lot better, and it'll pay off. Just be patient. Obviously, me and Peter didn't come up with these tricks ourselves. A lot of them we learned from Chris Ramsey, 52 Cards, and the Russian Genius. They're all really good YouTubers, and you guys should check them out. Hopefully, the next videos will be about more exciting tricks. Leave a comment below if you have any suggestions on what we should learn next week. I'm thinking maybe something like the spread. That's pretty basic, but kind of cool. Or the card spring. That's a classic. But yeah, let us know if you have any advice for us or any questions, and we'll try to answer them. Thanks for hanging in there, and see y'all next week.